Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
It is 19 hours 21 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. Namaste and welcome to the Lall Show, the Monday edition. It is the 9th day of May in the year 2022 and we hope you guys are doing just fine. We know we come here every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and as the motto of the show goes, we tell it as it is. This evening we have a packed studio, our members of a panel. We welcome them and of course we hand things over to the man of the moment who will give us tonight's presentation rather, and after which, once time permits us, we'll take your telephone calls, read your messages. Those numbers, they are 226-745-324, 622-2222 or 624-6456. With that said, sir, namaste and the floor is yours.
Namaste, Josh. Welcome, Danny.
Yes, sir.
Bernard. Ray Daugers. I like the name, Ray. Miss Harris. Namaste. That was a beautiful piece of song Joshua played there just now. Oma, Oma. It's a very touching, moving, and emotional song about our mother. Yesterday, the world celebrated Mother's Day. And I do hope that all the mothers in the world enjoy every moment of it. You guys have mothers? Yes. They enjoy it? Yes. I'm pretty sure you give them gifts. You did?
Yes.
All right. Father's Day coming. I only hope this year I get plenty gifts. I just get one now and again, one. But I'm looking forward for a lot of gifts this year. And out of all person I'll be looking out for a gift from is none other than ExxonMobil. Danny?
That's a joke.
Miss Harris?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Exxon is already
You know,
You give you a bell deal?
yesterday as I wake to join in the celebration of Mother's Day, the office called and said, boss, the website of the Kaieteur News is down. When I opened my phone, there were messages upon messages from people all over the world telling me, Lall, we cannot read the Kaieteur News. Most of them said the government and ExxonMobil sabotaged the website. And some of them, you laugh, and some of them honestly believe that.
That's true.
Let me just clear that up, please. Let me just clear the air with it. The host of the website out of India encountered some difficulties, and something that could have been fixed in less than an hour took them almost 24 hours to correct. So I want all of you to know it's up and running. Kaieteur News is online. You can view it, you can read it, you can smell it, you can even taste it. It's food. You smile. I have always said news is like food. Some people address news like food. The first thing they wake up, they don't look for tea, they don't look for coffee, they don't look for a meal. They look for a newspaper to read. That is their food. And I have become a junkie to that. You know, nobody can sabotage a website. It's not that easy. If it was that easy, according to the messages from some people I got, many governments and people like ExxonMobil would have shut off the airwaves from things they do not like or don't want people to publish. And with that, I say namaste to all you guys. Danny?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming over. Tonight, I'll be very short. I've been promising people to be short and always long. Some of my friends say, man, Glenn, you short, but you story long. Right? Well, tonight I'm going to promise you guys, I'm going to spend half the time I normally speak on the Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays program. So, relax, throw back, and enjoy. Danny, did you enjoy your flight?
Yes, sir.
Good. Just relax and enjoy this evening's program. I was so happy, Danny,
Yes, sir.
to see a lawyer named Elizabeth Dane Hughes came out and speak about the Gas to Shore project. I thought it's just a few people like myself and the Kaieteur News that are left to carry this fight against this insanity that is taking place in this land. She is calling on the government. This attorney at law is calling on ExxonMobil and the government to postpone the public consultation on that Wales Gas to Shore project until the expiration date. That's 60 days mandatory day of objections and comment period comes to an end. I really feel good when I saw that, you know, coming from an attorney at law. You know, she saw what's in the making. She saw this speed in which Guyana is heading with these projects, and she lent her voice. I'm very happy with her. She's also calling for what myself and all the international experts have been calling for. That is a financial feasibility study. ExxonMobil and Winston Brasington wants to rush this project through, push it down we throat without that study, and at the same time not giving us the opportunity to comment, to have a proper say on this gas plant. You know, they're just leaving us out. Like everything belongs to ExxonMobil, and what these leaders say, we must just accept. That's the speed in which they're pushing this project. Uncle and auntie for sure, I hope you guys enjoyed Mother's Day yesterday. Let me say this. A few countries have succeeded with their gas plants. And the way in which Brasington and Vice President Jagdev along with ExxonMobil running with this project, Guyana will not be left or with the wrong end of the stick, but with no end at all. Not with the deal they're about to do. No. Not with that amount of cash on an investment that we don't even know the price we would be paying for this gas. No, man. No. We can never make it. If we are going to do this gas plant, let us do it right, guys. Let us do it right once and for all. Let's see how and if this country will make money or we're going to lose money. I want to say a special thanks to that attorney at law, Elizabeth Dean Hughes. Cheers, girl. We need more like this lady.
Definitely.
We need more attorney at laws to get up and open their mouths to protect and defend the future of this land. Let me remind you people, when Vice President Jagdev and Winston Brasington had the one-time brief with the press, a very important question was asked by a journalist named Dennis Chabral. And Jagdev skirt around the man's question. Glenn Lall, had to tell Jagdev he didn't answer the man's question. That question was, if the government factored in the additional cost to Liza 2 when the gas done from Liza 1, and you have to move to Liza 2 to supply the Wales plant. That was the question the man asked. You know what Jagdev told us? When that time comes, we will deal with that. You hear that? When that time comes, we will deal with that. That's how that man and Brasington them going to indebt this country with billions of American dollars on a project that no proper deliberation or study was taken or is taken. He and Brasington is about to pay are already, and if I don't lie, it's already coming out, 1.3 billion American dollars. An inflated price for the pipelines from Liza 1 oil field to Wales. And when the gas done from that field, we're going to see about the other cost from Liza 2 to Wales. That's what Jagdev is saying. It's like you signing up a deal with a man to bring mangoes from Buxton to Georgetown at one price. And when the mango done from Buxton and you got to bring from Borbees, you're telling your family when the time comes you're going to deal with that. This is how Brasington and Jagdev them running the business of this country. You would hear it. You would hear it will cost uncle and auntie another 1.3 billion American dollars to move from Liza 1 to Liza 2. This is why all the oil exports warning Guyana, including the World Bank and the IMF, to make sure if we do it right. Otherwise, uncle, big rip-off can happen here. I am saying this, and I will not say back another word on this project. If this project is allowed to go through, the way Exxon and Brasington them doing it, tie a rope around your neck and prepare for jump off the Kaieteur Falls. Because that little 2% oil money I'll set to get, you don't want to know what will become of it. It will disappear, it will vanish. That's where they're taking Guyana on this project. You guys remember what Brasington told the oil conference the other day. Miss Harris, you remember? The same Winston Basington. He told what he told the oil conference about the Amelia Hydro project. Man, Uncle, I have to remind you guys about these people. So you get a mindset of who you're dealing with. You get an understanding of what's going on in this land. I will play it back for you guys. I played it on a program a while back. But before I do so, I want to tell you that the statement he's reading from was well prepared, carefully crafted with words, not to tell Guyana the whole truth. Yes, that's how he crafted it. Let me repeat. This thing was prepared and constructed not to disclose the evil behind the project. The danger he's tying down Guyana with, that this same Amelia Falls Hydro project. You will hear him paint a lovely picture how this project will reduce light bill. Guyana putting no money and Guyana got no risk, when it is not the whole truth he was telling the audience. Could you play that tape? Let them hear it back, please. Listen carefully to his words.
We asked them to look at all of our agreements, and we said, very importantly, we're not making any financial commitments other than to pay for the power under the power purchase agreement. And the government is not guaranteeing the project, they're going to guarantee the performance of GPL. The sponsor will obtain political risk insurance and these sort of things, and the sponsor will have an EPC contract to build this. And we're using the same EPC contract that was developed by Blackstone from 2012. So this is an international contract that was vetted by experts and negotiated over a long period between 2010 and 2012. Now, like any large project, there's a lot of risk in these projects. But most of these risks are being put to the developer. So the construction cost, that's covered by the EPC contract, with all the usual checks and balances. So liquidated damages if the project will take longer, protection for all of that. So this is a lump sum price. The geotechnical risk, we're going to stay with the same structure that we had in 2012. The hydrology risk, the GPL will be assuming this. The contract provides for allocation of force majeure risk. GPL will take all of the power from the project, and this project is expected to deliver from the 165 megawatts.
Well constructed, well crafted. Uncle, while he was making that presentation, saying how Guyana has no risk, a document was sliding on a big screen behind him that has the truth he didn't tell the audience. These are the games they play and the plan they put into action to rip this country off. And when he finished his presentation, you would believe they're the best people looking out for the best interests of me and you, when in fact it is far from the truth. He said, Uncle, the government not investing any money, not guaranteeing the project, and government have no risk. Now, you guys have to tell me, we are spending money to hire world-class independent experts to supervise and monitor this project to ensure it is built to project specifications. He said those words right there in another section of his presentation, but I don't want to play it. I'm just quoting him for you people to hear what he said. Now my question, where is money coming from, Mr. Brasington, to pay these world-class exports? The private investor paying, or you and Barra Jagdeo paying out your pockets? Then he said, government not guaranteeing this project. That is also not true. The mere fact that you are signing a PPA, a power purchase agreement with the private investor committing GPL to purchase electricity, regardless of its demand, is guaranteeing the people's investment. Yes. But what is more damaging, dangerous and wicked, uncle, is when he said, and I quote him, uncle, listen to what he said. Now, like any large project, there is a lot of risk in these projects, but most of these risks are being put to the developer. Yes. Yes, those are his words. You heard him there. To the developer, put to the developer. Notice how he introduced the new word, developer, not contractor anymore, developer. And how he carefully worded the statement he was reading from when he said those words. But most of these risks, uncle, all the risks are being put to the developer, he said. Let me repeat it in a nutshell what he did. He said Guyana not taking any risk. But most of the risk are going, he's going to put it to the developer. No, the developer is them, the private people. Brasington is saying to the Guyanese people, these risks are being put to the developer. They are not taking the risk. Brasington is only putting it to them. It's like you stretch out your hand to shake a man's hand, but the man keep his hands in his pocket. He telling you, keep your hand, shake to yourself. Not what you mean? So he's putting, what he's saying there, he's putting these risks to the developer. The people don't accept nothing. It's like a shake hand. The man don't accept to shake your hand. And yet he telling us that Guyana not taking any risk. Yes. Brasington is only putting it to them, uncle. That's what he telling us that Guyana has no risk in this project. And on the other hand, he's telling us that he's putting the risk to the developer. It's your own risk we taking. This is all the risk in this project. Most of it belongs to Guyana. Yes, the investors have no risk. The document that was floating on the screen behind him, had we not taken a careful look, a close examination, Guyana would have never known that 7 out of the 10 most dangerous risks rest on Guyana's shoulder.
Exactly.
Hadn't we seen that, we would have never known that.
It's on screen.
Hmm?
The document is on screen.
You guys who are viewing it on YouTube and Facebook, the document is on the screen. You can see it for yourselves. Guyana would have never known that 10 out of the 7 most dangerous rest on Guyana's shoulder. This is the man telling the audience with a straight face that like any large project, there's a lot of risk in these projects, but most of these risks are being put to the developer. That's what he said there. Only put. Don't forget it, only put. I will put a proposal to David Grange and Aubrey Norton. I'm just putting it. Does that mean they will accept anything? Or they're responsible for anything? No. No. They're responsible for nothing. I just put it to them. Like Winston Brassington said with his beautiful crafted sentence, but most of these risks are being put to the developer. Man, this is Guyana, Bernard. This country full of tricks and tricksters. Yes. Who think they can play with the world and get away with it. That's what is going on in this land. But I am so happy and I am so thankful that I was blessed with the intellect to listen, to read and capture the real insight of these schemers and connivers in this land. I should say thank you, Father. Thank you. I am blessed with that ability. Yeah, man. When I read something, I could pick, I could spot the skullduggery in them. Throughout Winston Brassington's presentation, he described this one private company constructing the hydro plant with 4 different names, Miss Harris. He called it contractor, developer, sponsor, investor. Every time he said something related to the company's responsibility, he described it differently. As I said, when these people choose their words, they do so carefully. So when somebody like Winston Brassington used 4 different words, you got to wonder what really going on, what tricks they're up to. Yeah. A project of this nature, Uncle, should be so simple that a child should be able to understand it, man. But when these guys speak, they confuse university graduates. He said the geotechnical risk will remain as the same structure we had in 2012. What that means, Uncle? You guys understand that? I don't. But the document behind him says that the risk falls on Guyana. The hydrology risk, he said Guyana will be responsible for that. That one too. That one also, if you don't understand what it is, you would be sailing. He means Guyana will be responsible for the water supply, the hydro plant, to supply the hydro plant. So if there is no water, the plant can't generate electricity, it's Guyana's fault. And Guyana will have to continue paying for the electricity they are not getting. That's what the hydrology really means. We taking that responsibility in ourselves to produce water for them, to supply electricity. And if we don't, and if we can't, if the place dry out, then we pay. And when he talk about force majeure, could you play back the tape, man? Play back the tape for me one more time. Listen to it back one more time, please.
We asked them to look at all of our agreements, and we said very importantly, we're not making any financial commitments other than to pay for the power under the power purchase agreement. And the government is not guaranteeing the project, they're going to guarantee the performance of GPL. The sponsor will obtain political risk insurance and these sort of things, and the sponsor will have an EPC contract to build this. And we're using the same EPC contract that was developed by Blackstone from 2012. So this is an international contract that was vetted by experts and negotiated over a long period between 2010 and 2012. Now, like any large project, there's a lot of risk in these projects. But most of these risks are being put to the developer. So the construction cost, that's covered by the EPC contract, with all the usual checks and balances. So liquidated damages if the project will take longer, protection for all of that. So this is a lump sum price. The geotechnical risk, we're going to stay with the same structure that we had in 2012. The hydrology risk, the GPL will be assuming this. The contract provides for allocation of force majeure risk. GPL will take all of the power from the project, and this project is expected to deliver from the 165 megawatts.
Uncle, you heard the last part? Just the last part when he talk about force majeure. When he talk about the force majeure risk, he jump over to something else without telling this nation who's bearing that risk. When you check the document sliding behind him on the TV screen, you see there is two force majeure risk, not one. And Guyana bears both of them on we shoulder or on we neck. Force majeure risk means unforeseen circumstances, an act of God Almighty. That's what it means. A natural disaster, a hurricane, an earthquake, a tremor, or massive flooding, and that hydro plant disappear. Guyana pays every single cent the company say them spend, the 700 million US dollar. You hear that? The rest on Guyana. And he just jump over. Just say it provides for force majeure. You see? But didn't say who. If you didn't look at the document behind on the screen, pull it up. It's online, man. You guys got to look at it. Guyana bears that. Uncle and auntie, the political force majeure he didn't mention. As if that means if the government cancel the project, or you got to change a government and then cancel the project, Guyana has to pay the people them every single cent them said they put in the project. You hear me clearly? Them said they put in the project. And Winston Brassington, throughout his presentation, said Guyana has no risk. This is unbelievable. What I'm explaining is unthinkable. That someone in charge of such a mega project, 700 million US dollar, them say the people going to spend. That money Guyana barely get in 3 years from the Isle. These guys whining around and skipping around, dancing all over with words and phrases that conceal the real story behind this Hydro Falls deal. That's what they're doing to this land. He said something that had me confused, had me baffled. Yes, me, the publisher of this media house for 27 years, still trying to figure out what this man really saying as to what he mean. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what exactly this man is saying when he said, and I quote him, the government is not guaranteeing the project. They are going to guarantee the performance of GPL. Man,
What is GPL performing?
I don't even understand what this man is
Exactly.
saying.
What is GPL performing?
If this is a problem for me, uncle, and my staff at the Kaieteur News, what about you? What about you, auntie? You understand what he said there? Huh? The man said the government is not guaranteeing the project. They are going to guarantee the performance of GPL. I don't know, and I would love him to explain that. This is unbelievable that the country leaders will go to these lengths, breadth, depth, height, to confuse a whole nation, to ensure that the private investor at no time can ever lose a blind cent, but only to make profits on a country for the next 20 years. Isn't this thing unimaginable, man?
It's unbelievable.
And unthinkable? This is what you call not only risk-free investment, but a milking cow bonanza. I hope y'all remember these words. I hope y'all remember this program. It will come back to remind you of what Lall was warning you people about. The dangers the leaders of Guyana is exposing our children and grandchildren to. And the billions of dollars burden we will have to carry for the next 20 years with this project. I can only hope and pray that whatever they do and what they get, them and their families enjoy it. That's all I could pray and hope for. We are now, I'm going to end. I promise you guys I'm going to end early. But we are now finding out that ExxonMobil slipped in a clause in the contract which was never there in the first place, and Trotman signed agreeing to it in 2016. Oil experts are saying that this is an evil act which sets out to rape this country further from this one-sided oil contract we signed. This new clause, uncle, states all costs and expenses incurred by the contractor in the production, use, and or disposal of the gas of an oil field, and those incurred in carrying out any feasibility study on the utilization of the gas shall be recovered as contract costs. You laugh. This is funny. This is insanity.
It's not funny at all.
Yes.
I doubt people understand what you just said.
I will explain it to
That's why I
them.
laugh.
Yes, I'll explain it to them. They are telling us, uncle, that Guyana will have to pay from the little oil money y'all getting for bringing up the gas, for bringing up the gas. Yes, that's what they're saying. Or if they have to throw it away, we have to pay. We also have to pay for any study they do if we want to use the gas or not. Everything we have to pay. Yes. Now we can understand, uncle, and Miss Harris, I can understand paying for a study if we have to use the gas. But why do we have to pay for the production of the gas when the same gas has to come up with our oil? Huh? Nowhere in the world the experts say, and if experts don't have to say, we understand this.
Exactly.
This is common sense. This had never happened or should have happened. The people said this is further rape of a country. Then the clause goes on to say that we have to pay to dispose of the gas. Man, this part nearly make I want to jump out my office through the glass door on the public road. The gas has to come up with the oil, uncle and auntie. It is a byproduct of the production of oil. And you have to pay Exxon to throw it away if they don't need it. Could you believe this thing, man? And that money will be coming out from your little oil money y'all getting. Yes, that canchy little nothing. Uncle, this is like giving up all your rights to your resources. Because at the end of the day, if Exxon takes out money for everything they do, then what is there for you and me? Huh? Like I said, you're getting 2% royalty in the oil, and you have to turn back and spend money to throw away the gas that comes up with it, man. Huh? Then what kind of profit is left there for us, man? Bernard, can you help me? One of the experts said government should explain to the nation why it is so eager to help Exxon to continue fleecing us this way.
Amen.
And I totally agree with them.
Definitely.
Huh? Jagdev should have seen that, and he should have corrected that in Payara. He should have corrected it in Yellowtail as he approved those two projects. But he didn't. They don't care. These guys just don't care about anything that's in this contract, or to change or to get anything further from this contract. Now he's going with project number 5. That will soon be there. And that same provision will still be in the contract. We will have to pay for them to throw away the gas that will come up from Lisa 5. Every single day the Kaieteur news carries stories upon stories exposing the wrongs in our oil sector, and the leaders remain blind, dumb and deaf. We carried the same story yesterday, in which several experts told Kaieteur News that Guyana is playing with extreme danger with such a clause, such a provision in that contract Trackman signed. And Jagdev must correct it. The people said this type of arrangement leaves Guyana with an even smaller piece of the pie, and no government should allow this to ever happen.
So why are they?
We are already getting the wrong end of the stick, uncle. And the people say if you take out more money other than the cost to produce and develop the oil, then what becomes of the poor people of this country? Imagine foreign oil exports is those using those words, not Lall talking these things. The people said there will be nothing. One expert said if Jagdev allowed this to continue, he's actually saying, come and take more of our oil. Take it. Yes. You're allowing them to recover the cost of the pipelines. Then they will charge you to transport your own gas. And then they will be one of the third party to buy the gas when the government set up the plant. Yes, and Guyana will bear all those expenses. One of the analysts said, Guyana is once again asleep at the wheel, especially when it comes to international best practices on what should be allowed as recoverable costs. Another one said clearly, this type of lawlessness does not exist in the oil industry, and call it a blatant advantage on a country, and it must be stopped. It should not be allowed to go one day further, these people say. Christopher Ram, our own attorney at law and chartered accountant, comment on this thing too. Yes, he told the Kaieteur News that the provision in the oil deal allows Guyana to be raped in broad daylight. There you have it, uncle and auntie. I end it with a big namaste. And don't forget Father's Day is coming. I'm looking forward.